Okay, so I think it's time for you to go ahead and get your first composition set up. In this tutorial video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a composition the right way and how you can create your own composition if you don't already have footage. So there's two options of creating a composition. You can either go down here and click the Create a New Composition button. This will allow you to create all of your settings. Now this might look a little intimidating, but it's really not that bad. You have your composition name. We're going to title this First Comp. And then you can go in and choose a preset if you'd like. This is 1080 and 2997 frame rate. If you don't work with cameras and you don't know about frame rate, you can just keep that the same. You can also change the width and height if you'd like. Pixel aspect ratio, just leave that on square pixels for now. And you can pretty much leave everything else set up as default. So 30-second duration, you don't have to worry about the time code. And then background color, I usually leave the black. That way if you're adding text, you can make it white and you can make it visible. And then you can also go into the advanced settings and change any of these once you know more about setting up compositions. You're not going to need anything in here right now, but just know that that advanced tab is there. So if we go in here and click OK, that will create a new composition titled First Comp, and this brings it into our timeline panel. So if you notice up here, we have First Comp now. We can bring that down. We could take it out of there. If we wanted to have a new folder, we could call it Compositions, and then we could take that comp and put it into that folder so that we have these where they should go. So now if we drop this down, we can see that both of our compositions are in that folder. So we could change this. Remember what I told you about just making sure that things are organized, and I guess for this, we're just going to keep it as purple. So you can open different compositions either by double clicking on these. So we've got First Comp open, and then if we click Welcome, it'll open another composition in the timeline panel so we can go back and forth between two. Now when you have a composition, keep in mind that files that you drop in here are its own composition. If you work in Premiere Pro, you know that you have different sequences. Compositions are kind of the same thing. You can have different compositions within the same project. So let's go ahead and close this welcome one and have this First Comp open. Now if we want to create another composition and we want to keep the same settings as a video file, for example, we can go to here and look at different information on the video file. We can also go to New Comp from Selection. Okay, that will create a composition. It puts the video file in there, opens up all of our effects. If we don't want to do that, we can also, let's just delete this for now. We can take that video file, drag it over our composition icon, and that will create a new one as well. Now, the benefit for creating a new composition with a video file is if we go into this, make sure this is selected in timeline, we go to Composition and Composition Settings, we can see that this brought in everything according to that video. So when we created a new composition, it was 2997. And this one, it's actually a frame rate of 24 because it's finding the settings according to that video file. So I always use that if I use a video file just to make sure that there's no hiccups. You know, if you're using a frame rate on your camera different from a composition in After Effects, just to prevent all of those problems. So that's all we need to know on how to create the first compositions, and in the next video I'll be showing you just in layout and how to change some different project settings in this project panel after you've got your composition set up.